talking about things we do on the days we don't feel so good. So we all have days where we kind of feel low or we're just not in the mood to do anything. So it's nice knowing what works for you and just those few things you can rely on to kind of uplift your mood.
Now, when you're not having a good day, it can be really hard to just continue on with everyday responsibilities like work or school or anything else that requires you to be productive. And that's okay. It's okay to take a mental health day every now and then. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're procrastinating or just looking for excuses. Sometimes your body and your mind just needs a break. And this can mean taking like a sick day or just logging off from work a little early if possible. And a lot of these things aren't obviously possible for everyone, but if you can, it's really important to know that productivity isn't something that needs to be accomplished every single day and every single minute. Your brain can't operate at its best if it's not being nourished and taken care of. So giving little breaks to it and paying attention to how your brain feels and what your body wants is really important for you to continue to be productive and continue to do well in what you're doing. And just that pressure of productivity and hustle that we always place on ourselves isn't always the healthiest way. There's this whole notion of hustle culture, which we have a whole another video on. So feel free to check out that video if you're interested. But basically, burnout is glamorized. And if you're not struggling and if you're not sacrificing your mental and physical health for a goal, that means you don't care about it enough or you don't work hard at it. But that's not true at all, because you can't function at 100% if your brain feels like it's at like a 20%.
So my go-to is talking to my family and friends. Usually I'll give my parents or my friends a call, but since my parents live on the other side of the world, it's not always practical for me to call them because they might be sleeping or they just might be busy. So I also love calling up my friends, especially RIDDHI, if I'm not in a good mood, because we just talk about it or we just talk it out. And a lot of the times we don't even talk about why we're in a bad mood. We just kind of joke around, and that just uplifts our mood.
Now, on days that you're not feeling your best, it's really important to take that pressure off of yourself for being healthy. So if you're normally someone who eats their vegetables and is very balanced about their diet and likes only putting good food into your body, on bad days you might not be motivated to do this, and you might just want like comfort food or some like pizza or ramen or something that just makes you feel warm and good on the inside. And you know what? That's okay. Like, you're allowed to have breaks from health and wellness on days that you need it the most. So I definitely suggest paying attention to the kinds of food that your body is craving. It's okay to treat yourself, and that's a form of self-care too.
So another thing that instantly boosts my mood is cleaning up my area. So if I'm in a bad mood, I tend to kind of just leave my dishes around, or I'll not clean up after myself. And that can be really detrimental to my mood because it kind of pulls me in that hole of feeling worse even more. So I force myself to kind of just get up and do my chores even if I'm in a bad mood, because I know that's going to help me feel better later on. So as I go through the process of cleaning, that kind of uplifts my mood, and it almost feels like this heavy feeling from my chest has been removed. So I don't really know how that works, but cleaning is a really big thing that helps me feel better.
So although everyone's idea of self-care can look different, there are some things that just make me feel good and probably work for other people too. So when you're taking care of your body and your mind and something feels cliche, like taking a bubble bath with candles and rose petals, or putting on a face mask. Just because it's cliche doesn't mean it doesn't work. And sometimes taking care of our body automatically translates into taking care of our mind, taking care of our soul. So don't be afraid to do some of these more stereotypical self-care activities. Because for me, sometimes that's exactly what I need to remind myself that life is beautiful and I should romanticize it. And if it's aesthetic, there's nothing wrong with that. And some other activities I like to do in this are maybe journaling about my thoughts or what's bothering me, or journaling about just all the things I'm grateful for. I'll also do some gentle yoga sometimes to release stuck emotions within my body, because movement really helps me kind of get into the flow and get connected and grounded.
So I love watching feel-good shows, and my go-to shows are New Girl and Gossip Girl. I love those two shows so much, especially New Girl. And unfortunately, Netflix Canada does not have it anymore, but I think New Girl is just such a good, fun, entertaining show to watch. So having shows that you've watched for years and just kind of sitting down and watching them without having to think about anything is such a relaxing activity, because you already know the storyline, there are no surprises. so your brain can kind of rest. The thing with new shows is that a lot of times, I mean, you haven't seen the show, so you don't know the storyline, and the plot may have twists and turns, and that might put you in a bad mood, especially if you end up hating the plot. So I like to stick with shows that I've seen before and I know exactly what's going to happen.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you are having a bad day, know that you're not alone, and everyone has bad days every now and then. And these are things that we've learned from having a lot of bad days on our own. So everyone has different things that work for them. So make sure that you're doing what you need and taking care of yourself first and foremost. Let us know if you guys have any comments, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.